Hey, welcome! Today we are talking about the one thing that can literally stand between you and a financial disaster. Think of it as your personal financial firewall, your emergency fund. Let's dive right in.
So, I want you to just pause for a second and really honestly ask yourself this question. If your paycheck just stopped tomorrow, how long could you really last? A few weeks? A month? It's a sobering thought, right? But that's exactly why we need to talk about this.
Because an emergency fund, at its heart, is so much more than just cash sitting in a bank account. It's your buffer. It's the cushion between one of life's curveballs and a full-on crisis. It's basically a financial shock absorber that keeps things stable when the road gets bumpy.
And here's where the rubber meets the road. This firewall protects you from some really specific, really scary stuff. Like a sudden job loss, or maybe your whole industry takes a hit, an unexpected accident, or a massive medical bill that comes out of nowhere. But here are two huge ones. It keeps you from having to sell your investments when the market is down, locking in those losses. And maybe even more important, it keeps you from piling up that soul-crushing, high-interest credit card debt just to survive.
Okay, so we're all on board with why we need it. But what exactly is this money? What are the rules of the game for this defense fund? Let's get into it.
Now, this is probably the single most important thing to understand. This money is not an investment. I'll say it again, it's not an investment. Its one and only job is to be there when you need it. The goal here isn't growth, it's not about making more money. It is 100% about security and stability.
And that whole idea of security brings us to the two golden rules for this fund. Rule number one, liquidity. That's just a fancy way of saying you need to be able to get your hands on it fast. And rule number two, safety. This means the value of the money can't suddenly tank overnight. If your emergency fund is in a volatile stock, well, sorry, but it's not really an emergency fund.
So, where should this money live? Well, the best places are things like high-yield savings accounts, or maybe some short-term fixed deposits. And why there? It's simple, really. They nail our two golden rules. You can access your cash super quickly, and you know for a fact that its value is going to be stable, no matter what crazy stuff the market is doing.
All right, so we've covered the what and the why. Now for the part you've been waiting for, the how. This is your practical step-by-step blueprint for actually building this thing.
So, what's the magic number? What are we shooting for? The industry standard, the number you want to burn into your brain, is somewhere between 6 and 12 months' worth of expenses. That's the target.
But wait, this is a super important distinction. We are not talking about 6 to 12 months of your total spending, not your lifestyle budget with vacations and dinners out. Nope. We are talking about your necessary expenses. This is your bare-bones survival budget, the absolute must-pays: rent or mortgage, utilities, food, insurance, basic transportation. That's it.
So are you a 6-month person or a 12-month person? Well, it really depends on your personal risk level. If you're in a shaky industry or you're the only one bringing in income for your family, you definitely want to push for that full 12-month cushion. On the other hand, if you've got a super stable job or you're in a dual income household, then, 6 months could be a totally solid goal.
Okay, let's put it all together into a simple 4-step action plan. First, you've got to do the math. Calculate that monthly survival number. Second, decide on your target, 6, 12, or somewhere in between. Third, and this one is huge, you need to prioritize this before you start getting heavy into investing. Build your firewall first. And last, if you ever have to use it, your absolute number one priority becomes refilling it immediately. Now, let's just step back for a moment, because this is about so much more than just a number in a bank account. Let's talk about the real payoff here, what having this security actually does for you. It's the true cornerstone of your financial life.
I just love this quote because it hits the nail on the head. This fund isn't about being paranoid or fearful. It's the exact opposite. It's about giving you confidence. It gives you the power to make decisions from a place of strength, not desperation. It lets you say no to a bad situation or yes to a great opportunity.
Because really, when you boil it all down, that's what you're building. It's not just a savings account, it's a freedom account. The freedom from having to make big life choices based on fear or short-term money worries.
And just think about what that freedom looks like. It's the freedom to choose the job you actually love, not just when you need to pay the bills. It's the confidence to take a smart risk on a new idea. It creates this stable foundation that lets your long-term investments grow without being disturbed. And man, the peace of mind, you just can't put a price tag on that.
So as we wrap up, I'll leave you with this one thought, a question to ask yourself. Is your financial firewall built? Is it strong? If the answer is no, or even just kinda, then don't wait. The best time to start laying those bricks was yesterday. The second best time is right now.